Hello, hello, good evening. What is going on this beautiful week in February? The year's going by fast. February is almost done, but I don't know if I have too much to say tonight. I just wanted to pop in and say hello and kind of touch on a few things because um, a lot of it is what we already know. A lot of it is what we already know. I got a lot of topics I'm working on. I'm literally reading a few books right now simultaneously because I really want to make sure that these topics are in full. And I noticed that African spirituality is going to be one of the big ones. A lot of people are excited about that one, and I am too. I am too because it's one of the aside from Islam, African spirituality is one of those ones that kind of it lies in the cut. It's a lot of people believe in it, a lot of people follow it on the cool, but it's not considered one of those major religions. But a lot of these African deities and gods and goddesses that people worship, if you don't know, people use that to govern their lives. And so we're seeing a lot of those actions being played out, whether you know it or not. So I'm actually really excited about that one. Um, I'm excited about a lot of them. I've got a science one coming up for you guys. I don't know if you've heard about the fact that quote unquote scientists are saying that there's going to be a 25-hour day. And so I'm going to talk about that a little bit. See, this is one of those things that relates to the scripture where it says that they change the times. And I think the reason why they have to go to this 25, I'm not going to talk too much about it because, like I said, I'm definitely put it in the video. But the reason why they need to go to this 25-hour day is because the math ain't mathing. They want everybody to believe that we are not only rotating at 1,000 miles per hour or however long, however fast on an axis, but that we're also orbiting the universe at the same time, and nobody feels it. Pilots, even the ones in the military, don't adhere to it as far as how they train their pilots. And so, you know, um, I think they're scraping and scrambling. I think they're scraping and scrambling to try to make the puzzle fit. And soon they're going to be found out. Soon people are going to really understand what the whole flat earth is about. But until then, we'll just keep on exposing it from this side. So I really wanted to talk today. I kind of waited last week because it was the Super Bowl, and I really wanted to see what the artist had up their sleeves. And of course, the big controversy was around Bad Bunny. And one half of the nation, I guess, was up in arms about the whole immigrant situation and things like that. But then the other half of the nation is actually upset about who and what Bad Bunny represents. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to check out the video that I shared from Good Fight Ministries. If you guys have not watched that channel, I suggest that you really check that out because they really do a deep dive into a lot of these artists, especially from the aspect of them selling their souls. And I remember back in the day when I was working in the field, and I don't speak Spanish like that. I can read it more than I can speak it, but we were asking one of the Spanish speaking ladies on the van, what is Bad Bunny saying? She was like a whole bunch of nastiness. That was really her response. It was like he's just talking nasty. I was like, oh, for real? And so to be honest, I was expecting for him to come in how he does in his music videos. I was expecting for the cross-dressing, I was expecting for the devil worshiping, and I didn't see any of that. And I'm not complaining that I didn't see any of that, but in my heart, I'm like, that's a ploy. Because at the same time that this whole Epstein list is getting revealed, at the same time Jay-Z is really being brought to the spotlight about it, everybody knows that he's in charge of the Super Bowl shows. They know that he's in charge of picking the artists and things like that. So in my opinion, he couldn't just come to the forefront and start putting a whole bunch of devil horns and all that crap that we've always seen during the Super Bowl halftime shows. He couldn't bring that this time because we're already looking at him as, oh, you worship the devil. So he couldn't put Bad Bunny on the stage with a dress on and all that other foolishness that Bad Bunny is known to come with. And so, and I was pleasantly surprised um that it looked like a clean show. It just did. It looked like a clean show. There would be really no reason why you would get upset at it, and so it makes the people that actually call this stuff out, it makes us look like we're crazy. Like how, you said that he was about this, he was about that, but we didn't see none of that. And so the people that already have the blinders on, they're going to continue to have the blinders on. But, whatever. We still gonna call it out. We'll see what he does in his videos. We'll see what he does because there's plenty of pictures, right? There's plenty of pictures of Bad Bunny in dresses and heels, and his videos are showing a whole bunch of demonic things. And of course, if you watch the Good Fight video, because I don't listen to Bad Bunny. I don't watch him. I don't know too much about him besides, like I said, what I just told you earlier. And it really was eye-opening because it showed in the video, they are literally encouraging little kids to watch this stuff on their own. Go into your room, close the door, turn on this video, and get immersed into the agenda that Bad Bunny has for them. So it was just amazing. And again, I'm not disappointed that he didn't come forward with it because I wouldn't have wanted to see it. But like I said, I know they're going to look at us like we're crazy because we're trying to call him out, and he didn't come with any of that at the Super Bowl halftime show. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But I did not make any videos on the whole Epstein thing because I've already talked about this stuff. You already know that he's in the files. You already know what he's in the files about. And the fact that people are just now coming to, okay, I'm glad that you're just now finding it out. But this is stuff that we've been saying since 2019. It's now 2026. We already showed you the petitions. We already showed you the federal indictments. We already know who's on the list. And supposedly him and Beyonce are losing fans by the millions. So again, he's one of the other people that are scraping and scrambling. And I think one of the people that is helping him out in this is Vlad TV. Vladimir. Now, I've already admitted that I am a person who has watched Vlad TV because I do like the interviewees, not him, but I do like the interviewees that he brings to his show. But just recently, if you don't know, I'm actually going to put it on the screen. He actually supposedly came out with this tweet. Let me show you this. I hope. Okay, let me know if you guys can see that. Okay, so this is the tweet. Let me make sure that you can see that. No, I probably got like 18,000 windows open, but that's just how I work. So Vlad says, I'm seeing news reports that Kelsey's bodyguard came forward and said that Kelsey shot Megan, not Tory Lanez. The only problem is that Kelsey's bodyguard wasn't actually bodyguarding her the night of the shooting. His testimony is based on a conversation he claimed he heard. 98% appeals fall through. This isn't going to overturn Tory's conviction. If this were actually true, Tory should have taken the stand and said it. Also, the story doesn't match up with the jail call of Tory apologizing to Kelsey. You're an idiot if you think that someone sitting in the jail is going to apologize to the person who put them there. And why would the shooter even do jail call with the person who is being charged with the crime? I don't even know if this is the one that I want to read. There's more. I'm so sorry. I gotta find it. I gotta see if I can find it. But to just summarize what it says, let me see if it's on my phone, and I'll just read it. Because this guy Vlad, oh my goodness, this guy Vlad. I thought I did. I thought I took it. Oh, there it goes. I put it in my folder. Okay. So I'm just gonna read it, y'all, because it's on my phone, and it says, I have a confession. Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. They also paid off all the jury members to convict Tory, and they bribed the judge too. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album. I don't know whose grandson. I don't know who he's talking about. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. She was never shot. The LA police are all on Jay's payroll. And that doesn't stop with LA, but you're not ready to hear that part. The Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who do you think paid for that? You already know the answer. The 3 Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal, all paid off by Rock Mafia. Jay also paid Trump not to pardon Tory, even though it's a state case. Trump can only pardon federal cases. But knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances. I can't keep these secrets anymore. If this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me. And then it goes into the part that I just read y'all. So now Vladimir has come out saying that it was all a joke. Who jokes like that? At a time like this, what would be the reason? And a lot of people were speculating that he was going to come out and say that he got hacked, but no, he's now come out and say that it was a joke. But I just don't think it's a joke, because we all know that Jay-Z has these people on his payroll. If you even read a glimpse of the federal indictment from 2019, you know something fishy happened with that case and that judge. Just recusing the judge for no reason, just dropped the case for no reason, said it was, I forget the term they use right now, but you already know. But what would be the reason to put this tweet out? Can y'all think of a reason? This man's life is on the line. Tory is in jail, literally fighting for his life when he got set up like that. And this is what you joke about? But the times that I have watched Vlad when he talked about Jay-Z, it was just a whole bunch of butt kissing. I think that he's there to make you feel like these allegations against Jay-Z are silly. I think that's his job in this whole shebang. Why would a billionaire, why would a millionaire do something like that? Why, he's that guy. And I was having a conversation with somebody online about it, and they were, again, pretty much saying that it's silly to think that Jay-Z would be involved in any of this stuff. And I'm like, you got to ask yourself, again, who makes up things like this? Who brings up these particular players? when you think about Jay-Z, when you think about Weinstein, when you think about Hart, Epstein, those them on their own, sorry, I can't talk tonight. Them on their own, you would never put them together. So why would anybody think to do that? Why would anybody think to put that guy, I think his name is Leslie, in it, the guy that pretty much foots all the money so that these people can pay off these lawyers and stuff like that. He gets paid to cover up these crimes and stuff. Who would even think of his name if they weren't in the situation? It just doesn't make sense to me. And they're like, "Oh, Jay-Z didn't know him back in '96." You a lie. Because from my understanding, Jay-Z's films and productions and stuff were going through Harvey Weinstein's company. He did know him back in '96. So, anyways, I don't know if this is, I think a lot of us are waiting for the pin to drop, but again, I don't know if this is going to be it. Again, a lot of people are unfollowing supposedly. I don't know. I don't follow these people, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you if their numbers dropped off or what. Hey, hey, good evening. How are you doing? Yeah, I couldn't tell you if these numbers, dropped or what. But hopefully people will wake up. Hopefully they'll wake up, and supposedly 50 is going to do a documentary like he did with Diddy. So we'll see what happens with that. But apparently he's been releasing a lot of the lyrics that Jay-Z had back in the day about how he likes little girls and stuff like that. So doing amazing. How about you? What you talking about? Oh, I'm doing amazing as well. I cannot complain. So pretty much I was just speaking about the topics that I had coming up, how I'm doing a lot of reading right now so I can make sure this is really thorough. But I started off with Bad Bunny because I was saying that he did not come to the Super Bowl halftime show with his normal garb, him in dresses and him dressed up like demons. He didn't do any of that at the Super Bowl halftime show. So it makes it seem like people like, Good Fight Ministries who call that kind of stuff out. It makes us seem like we're crazy by saying, "Oh, he's demonic" and things like that, because you didn't see any of that at the Super Bowl halftime show. So what he did was draw in more and more people to love him. Because I ain't gonna lie, just from even a dancer choreographer standpoint, I mean, the show looked good. I don't know what he was singing, rapping about, but it was put together. And so those who didn't know him and kind of just heard about him, they can just watch the show and think, "Oh, he's not so bad. There's nothing wrong with my kids listening to him. There's nothing wrong with me listening to him." Without knowing, going back into his music video catalog, that nah, he's got some weird stuff with him. And he's got an agenda to sit your kids in front of the TV while they're by themselves and show them a whole bunch of, rainbow activity. And again, him cross-dressing, and, the Bad Bunny is a literal like demon bunny, so that's what I was speaking on. I don't know if you guys saw it. Yeah. he said He said Bad Bunny is a weirdo who gets pimped out by the cartel. I wouldn't be surprised. He's definitely a weirdo. Um, I'm actually surprised. I mean, I don't know how many men are in his fan base, but uh, maybe they don't see what he's up to. Maybe they don't see what he does. And, no shame to them, because I know some people are just, they don't really care about, what am I trying to say? Some people just see things as art, right? They don't to them, it doesn't have any deeper meaning, so they wouldn't care how he dresses and stuff like that. They were just like, no, I just like his music. So, you know, so you said I never heard about him before the Super Bowl. And I, like I said earlier, I heard him on the radio, and I was asking one of the Spanish speakers that was on my team what he was saying, and she was saying he's saying a whole bunch of nastiness. And I was like, oh, he nasty. Like, she's like, yeah, he's talking real nasty. I was like, oh, okay. And so really that's the only thing that I know about him. Never seen music videos and stuff like that until I watched the Good Fight Ministries video about him. And I was like, oh, that's what he's up to? That's what he's putting in his music? You said you said he's more popular overseas, not in America. His music is low key trash. And yeah, apparently, apparently what is it from? He's from Puerto Rico, very big over there. Um, I don't know how he does in like Europe and China, all that kind of stuff, but people were happy to have him. They're very, very proud of him. But again, I just wonder what they see every day, because I'm like, that's like you said, there's some weird stuff that he's got going on. Very, very weird. Um, but I was saying that the reason why I felt like they had to go this soft route is because people are already side eyeing Jay Z. They're already talking about the Epstein files and how a whole bunch of demonic stuff is going on in them. So he couldn't then turn around and bring an artist and showcase what they're all really about. They had to keep everything low key. That's just my opinion. And like somebody else brought up a good point. Every single time Jay-Z is in the news for this type of stuff, the babies and the little kids and stuff like that, he makes sure that he'll come up to these shows, he'll go to these events, and he'll bring his daughters. He's gonna make sure that we look at him like he's a good father. And I'm not saying he's not. He might very well be. But I think it's so that we forget about the stuff that he's doing with other people's children, allegedly. So I don't know. But I'm actually really excited. So I'm actually really excited about a lot of topics that I have coming up. I was talking earlier about how African spirituality seems to be one of the ones that people are going to be waiting on. And it's actually going to really tie into what I think they call him Basquiat, is how you pronounce his name. It's really going to tie into Basquiat. And Jay-Z is somebody who also admires Basquiat. And we're going to see some stuff that, this artist was into. I guess you can say he's part of the 27 club because he died, at 27. But he was into some real hot and heavy stuff his short time on this earth. And it's all going to tie in together. So hopefully I can, maybe not get them all in there back to back, because African spirituality is going to be very extensive. I'm going to try to do my best to try to grab as much as I can. And like I told somebody in the comments, I know it's going to ruffle some feathers, because African spirituality is one of those things that even it's a big religion, but it's not talked about so much. If you go into a lot of the, I'm going to say, pro-Black type of comment sections, if you go into those type of arenas, you're going to see it talked about a lot. And they're going to tell you, yeah, you need to follow your Orishas and you need to do this and you need to do that with Oshun. They're going to talk about that kind of stuff heavy. And then, of course, Beyonce has made it very popular. Because honestly, I can't even think of any other artist who really talked about it like that, who really put it in their music videos like that. Yeah, I know it. You said African spirituality is a lie from the devil, and I rebuke it. And that's gonna be the big pushback. Because I so that's gonna be the big pushback. Because what people are gonna say, and I already know what my comment section is gonna look like, they're gonna say that the only reason why Black people are not believing in this stuff now is because they've been colonized. Which is not true. It's just not true for all African nations. But they're going to make it seem as though, their gods were taken away from them and this and that. But everybody, you can believe what you want to believe. Nobody can really take your gods away from you because it's something that you believe in your heart and your mind. But, that's neither here nor there. But I guess what they mean is they weren't able to practice openly. But that's going to be a big pushback. A lot of people are going to be saying that we need to get back to it. That witchcraft is our thing. And one of the very first books that I read on it, because I'm actually, man, I think about it all the time that I was in the process of writing a book about, about Eve and the serpent and things like that. I know I've dropped a couple of videos on it, but I was literally making a whole extensive book about it. I actually have 7 chapters written already, but I really got to get back into it and finish it and get it out there. But I read this excerpt from this book. I believe it was called, please forgive me, it was like African Thought in Egypt or something like that. But they literally say it in the book that they left off worshiping God to start practicing ophiomancy. Ophiomancy is divination by serpent. They said that they literally left off from worshiping God to practice ophiomancy, and that ophiomancy was the very first form of divination. And that just blew my mind, because what does the book of Genesis say? That Eve was talking to the serpent. And I've gone into this, but if you're new to this channel, then you know that the etymology of the word serpent is nakash, and it means to practice divination. And so that's, and then the hiss of the serpent is, obviously that's the way that it communicates, but it's supposed to be an onomatopoeia for talking, and in the hiss, but you're able to do it by the designs on the serpent and all kinds of stuff. But anyways, the hiss of the serpent is supposed to be like a charm. So charm in witchcraft is to bind. So essentially, Eve is talking to the serpent, his hiss charmed her, and then she got bound by his words, him telling her that she could be as God. She, and here we are. Here we are. And the crazy thing about it is, so again, Africa admits that they are the first person to practice it, but every single nation on this earth speaks about it. And the Bible is the only one that says, do not follow the serpent, while everybody else thinks about the serpent as, being the source of wisdom or the source of light. And so I'll finish it one of these days. I really got to get on it because, like I said, I think about it often. He said her sister Solange is more open than Beyonce. Yeah, and what's crazy is, and I really hate that for her. I really hate that for her because I don't know if they got it from the mama, because the mom is supposed to be some type of Creole or whatever, and I guess has Louisiana roots and stuff like that. And you already know what they practice really heavy down there. And I'm not shaming. I was born in Louisiana, but they're really into that over there. But Solange as an artist to me is a lot better than Beyonce. She sings, she dances, she writes, uh, but anyways, I don't know, because I think Solange is really subtle with hers. Solange is very, very subtle. I wouldn't have known that she is actually into this stuff if I hadn't heard. I don't know if he practiced voodoo or what he did. I think his name is Richard Lorenzo or something like that. That might not be his name, but it sounds. I think that's what his name is. But he said that he ran into Solange coming out the voodoo shop, and he was looking at her like, "Oh, you practice this?" And she looking at him like, "Yeah, I practice this." So, but Beyonce, she definitely, I mean, she puts it all in her videos and things like that. But yeah, but I think I would agree. Solange probably talks about it more, but she doesn't. I guess she doesn't maybe care for the symbolism and all that kind of stuff. She's just like, no, this is what I practice. Whereas Beyonce, she, it's all wickedness. It's all wickedness. As if Christianity didn't get popular in Ethiopia and they willingly followed it and incorporated modern Christianity. Exactly. And those who I love that you said that, because scholars who have studied this and have actually gone to these places, what had happened was these people had already had a love for God. They were already worshiping God. They already had, I don't know if saying they already had an image of God in their hearts and minds is too harsh to say, but when Christianity began to be preached to them, they accepted it willingly because they had it aligned with what they already believed about God. And I'm just really glad that you said that, because even Nubia, and I've talked about this in the video Christianity and the White Man's Religion, Nubia has never been colonized. A lot of African nations have, yes, but Nubia never colonized. And they have the most Christians in their nation. And I think people forget that. I think they forget about Pentecost, because they said, well, well, they had to have received it from a white man, regardless, but they forget about Pentecost, because at Pentecost, every nation was there when the Holy Spirit came and they all started speaking in tongues and speaking each other's language. Or they were able to hear the disciples, they were able to hear those words, but in their language. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, why couldn't it be that those are the people that went back to their nations and started spreading the gospel? That would make more sense than, one group of people traveling all around Africa spreading the stuff. No, no. And so, yeah, not every single African nation is a practicer of witchcraft. And so we just got to get that out of our heads. It's really a Black religion. If you think about it, it really is. Because you don't ever hear You don't ever hear white people talking about Oshun and all that kind of stuff. You don't ever hear. I mean, I don't. I don't. Y'all let me know if you do. But these so-called deities, um, and I want to even say creatures and stuff. A lot of them that are worshipped along the coast. So when we hear about mermaids and all that kind of stuff, these are creatures that came up out of the water, according to them. And Oshun and all that, those are water deities and water spirits. I actually saw that they're coming out with a show actually about this stuff. They're coming out with a show about hold on, let me see if I can look it up because I passed by it and I try to screenshot and save it so I can remember this stuff, but I think I just saw it and kind of kept scrolling. Um, but again, they have a new show that's going to be showing this kind of stuff. Let me see if I can bring it up while I'm on here with y'all. Mm. If I can find it, I'll like put it in a post or whatever, or make a short about it. But because I can't even begin to think about what it's called right now. I didn't catch all that. Miss Tina definitely practices witchcraft, especially them home remedies she used to post about. Oh, for real. See, I had never seen because sometimes Tina, and again, I don't follow her or anything like that, but she she seems like she's down. And by that I mean she seems like she's not with all the stuff that's going on. Like I've seen her like stuff about Jay-Z, especially with this Epstein stuff. I've seen her like different things like that, and she just seems like she's not with it. But then, like you said, on the back end, in the cut, she really does practice this kind of stuff. And I hate to admit it, but I did. I watched. So TD, I don't fool with TD Jakes, but TD Jakes has a series of movies, and they're based on the seven sins, like greed, lust, envy, and whatnot. And there's like three out so far. I've watched all of them. They were really good, to be honest. But one of them had Tina Knowles in it. Tina Knowles was the mama, and Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child was her daughter. And again, so if you don't know about her witchcraft background, you're like, oh, she knows about the seven sins. I don't even want to say godly because that's too far of a stretch, but she might know something about being godly, but no. As long as they don't say the name Jesus, I think they're okay. Is what I've heard. They're not allowed. They can't say the name Jesus. And a lot of these companies have built in their contracts that you're not allowed to say the name Jesus, like on their records and stuff like that. He said, "I'm gonna have to watch the playback tonight." Yeah, watch it. I mean, I'm kind of recapping what I was saying earlier for those who weren't here, but yeah, for sure, watch it. Azim, what's going on? What's going on? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good month, not just a good day or week. White people worship the Greek deities, and Roman and Greek witchcraft. Sometimes they talk about Oshun, rarely. Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely they Greek deities and Roman. Yes. Um, yeah. And again, they're heavy into the mystery schools. They're heavy into paganism and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I've actually never heard him talk about it. I think she doesn't like Jay-Z, but likes witchcraft stuff. That would make sense. That would definitely make sense. Um, it's funny because I was watching, who was I watching earlier? She has two channels. She goes under the name BJ Investigates, and she also has, let me see if I can go to my history. But she was talking about how Abrima Abramovich, if y'all know who that is, she's the spirit cooking lady. She's been doing it for a long time. And so pretty much spirit cooking, in a sense, it's a form of witchcraft, but they'll take blood and semen and all kinds of other stuff and kind of mix it up together, and they make art out of it. They have dinners based off of it. It's just some weird. Let me see if I can bring some of that stuff up real quick. But she was talking about how Abrima Abramovich was complaining because she says she can't walk the streets no more. She's in fear for her life after all this stuff has been coming out in the Epstein files. And so she was joking and saying her witchcraft must be wearing off. It must be. Because this lady has been protected for a long time. Yeah, let me see if I can bring some of this stuff up. Because this is some sick stuff. And I know, I'm pretty sure I've probably made a video about it on Patreon, because it's not something that you could put here. You know, they don't like when you talk about this kind of stuff. But hold on, let me see if I can at least bring up but all kinds of celebrities go. You got like Lady Gaga and what's that chick's name? Katy Perry. Okay, let me put this on the screen real quick. Share it. Okay, so this is one of the things right here. And saliva of your lover mixed with morning dew collected from eucalyptus leaves. Don't do none of this stuff, y'all. I'm just showing you who this lady is. Cut with the knife deeply into the middle finger of your left hand. Eat the pain. Look, morning urine sprinkle over the nightmare dreams. Spirit cooking, mix fresh breast milk with fresh sperm milk. Drink on earthquake nights. Spin around until you lose consciousness. Try to eat all the questions of the day. A drop of the, I don't know what that says. I don't know what that says. A drop of, I don't know if that's supposed to be semen, mixed with a drop of water. Take a small amount before crying. And mind you, y'all, she wrote this in blood. She wrote this in blood. And you see that little character right here, this little creature thing right there? That's like a baby figurine. Okay? So this is the type of foolishness that and this is her again with the freaking goat head, looking crazy. Let me see if I can see a picture of the celebrities that go to these things. Oh, they wiping this stuff clean because these pictures were definitely out there. Oh, they wiping this clean. You can see, I think you can see this on the right hand side right here. They use real, I don't know if they're real people, but like doll looking people. Look at this. This is Katy Perry right here. Heads on a platter. This is Beyonce at the spirit cooking. This is Abrima. So listen. This is what she's into. And now she's upset because she can't walk the streets. Crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy. He said, "What?" I know it's foolishness. That's all it is. It's nothing but demonic foolishness. He said, "I love BJ Investigates. Her videos are helpful, especially the ones that talk about the managers in Hollywood." Oh, I don't know if I've seen that one. You know, when I first got put onto her, I don't know if I've talked in depth about this, but she started talking about that show. It's something about white underbelly. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on all these names tonight, but it is what it is. She did a story about this lady named Amber who they were using virtual reality on her. And oh, it was so crazy. Y'all have to watch it. If you haven't seen it, I don't even know if I can talk intelligently about it because it was so crazy. But where is it? She has 2 channels, y'all. And I don't remember which one. Oh my goodness, I was watching a lot of track videos today. Took all my stuff. I'm having to scroll through all this stuff. Dang, what is her name? I don't know why it's not showing me. I know I watched it today. I hate that. The history, like it shows you what it wants to show you. It shows you. Okay, but anyways, maybe it's in my watch later. Nope. Gosh, guys. Anyways, it's a video about Amanda Rabb, R-A-B-B. If you find the time, look it up. And she ends up getting sued by the lady who put that lady into virtual reality because the lady ends up dying. And she ended up getting sued, but I think she ends up winning her case. But it's crazy. But no, I want to look into this whole, speaking about managers and stuff. That sounds interesting. The Surprise Witness. That's what it is. The Surprise Witness is her second channel. And I don't know if this lady is an attorney or what she is, but I know especially during the whole Busby and all that kind of thing, she was actually going to court and she was able to break down all the legalese and stuff about it. So yeah, check her out. Called the Virtual Reality Hell. Crazy stuff. And they're actually, I've seen quite a few things about this virtual reality thing. They even had a point to where they were saying people were getting arrested because they were actually molesting kids in the virtual reality. And I was like, how in the heck is this going on? I really don't even understand it for real, because I don't know. I guess I think about virtual reality as a game and all that kind of stuff, but they're making it as if these people can actually feel this stuff. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that this internet stuff is getting crazy. I owe Patreon. I owe y'all the 764 video, which is really crazy. We got to watch what your kids are watching online. And just to kind of give you a little snippet of what it's about, there is a group, probably many groups. There's many groups that are actually teaching your kids how to harm themselves. I mean, literally how to take yourself off this earth. and they are targeting the vulnerable people, those who are depressed and sad, and you feel alone, and you feel like, the world is crumbling in on you. What they're doing is they're like, oh, well, I'll be your friend. You can come hang out with us. And oh man, it's so crazy. They take them through these different steps. If you want to be my friend, you'll do this, and then you'll do that, and then you'll do this, and then you'll do that. And at the end, you end up taking yourself off this earth. One guy said, and again, because it's going to be uncut, obviously, it's going to be uncensored, but this stuff is so sensitive that when I tried to look it up on YouTube, I literally had to check off on a disclaimer. And it took me to, I don't know if I can say this it took me to a suicide hotline. All because I was trying to watch the video about this group. But anyways, one guy said that I guess him and his wife were downstairs, and the boy, their son, was awfully quiet. You know how kids, when they get quiet, you kind of got to go check on them because they are probably into some stuff they ain't got no business. So the wife was like, go, so-and-so's quiet, go check on him. And so the dad walked past the little boy's room, and he said usually when he walks past the little boy's room, the little boy will come running out, daddy, happy to see him or whatever, and that didn't happen. And so when he walked in the room, guess what? The boy was hanging himself, all because of what he has seen online and what they encouraged him to do. So it's some crazy stuff, but I'll put that video together. Woo-wee. Some crazy stuff, y'all. Britney Spears' manager manages a whole bunch of celebs and is putting them into demonic contracts. Listen, I hate to say it, right? But I don't see how you could, unless you're just thinking about Britney Spears when she first came out, because Britney was the poo when she came out. She was the it girl. So unless you're thinking about, okay, I'll hook up with, that manager so that I can get the kind of success that Britney Spears had, then okay. But if you look at what's happened to her since then, I don't know why you would ever want to follow after that. And I'm trying to look up this guy. So Larry Rudolph? Is that him? I need to see his picture. I got to see this demon in action. What he looks like. Matter of fact, let me bring him up real quick. Larry Rudolph, entertainment lawyer. Dang, these people don't even, sometimes people don't look like, they don't look like they would harm anybody. They don't look like they would. Wait, this is the dentist. This is not the same guy. Can you type today? No, they always got to look to him. I ain't gonna lie. Look at this. You can barely even see his eyes. But I guess that's supposed to be him. Sorry if I keep turning that camera off. Oh, Oh, I was checking out Britney Spears' manager. I said I wanted to see this guy in action. Um, but shoot, sometimes it's not even the managers themselves. They're working in cahoots with the parents. I already showed y'all how it was Britney Spears' dad that put her in the conservatorship and had put her in the conservatorship. I think it was like eight when she started doing commercials and stuff. And I'm talking about before she hit the scene with "Oops, I Did It Again" and all that kind of stuff. When she first started, he got that conservatorship going. That's how much some of these parents plot on their children. Mm. He said, "Yeah, he's weird. They are under a company called TriStar." He's represented a lot of people too. Tony Braxton, we know she went bankrupt at one point. Miley Cyrus, Avril Lavigne, I guess. They put celebs in conservatism, and Lou Taylor was harassing BJ after she exposed it. Yeah, yeah, they went after her. I think she ended up, especially when she exposed the whole Amanda thing. That cost her a lot of money to fight that case. These are straight demons. That's why I'm not mad at, like, people like Genuine. If y'all know him, the singer, he was like, nope. I manage my career. I ain't never had nobody managing my career. I don't give nobody access to my bank accounts. I manage my money. If you need to book something, call me. That way you don't have to worry about people shucking and jiving and taking your money and all that nonsense. But you also got to be savvy in that too. A lot of people get caught up because they don't know the business, unfortunately, or they don't learn it until they've lost it all at one point and had to get it back. She had to denounce her JD and quit her firm because of it. Oh my goodness. So demonic and evil. Oh, I didn't know that. Dang, that's so sad. I guess that's why she's excuse my terminology, but she's balls to the wall with this. She comes after him now. She don't care. She does not care. She's like, no weapon formed today. When I was watching, she was like, she was quoting scripture today. She was quoting a lot of scripture today. I was very, very happy for her. But dang, I didn't know that. That's sad. Humans are easily corrupted by money. Yeah, because they want it all. They want, and there's nothing. Because I think that because people get it misconstrued. They always try to quote, um, "Money is the root of all evil." Like, no, it's the love of money is the root of all evil. Because if I'm not mistaken, I thought there was a verse that said that it's a tool. I might be mistaken though. Um, money is a resource. It gets us things. It allows us, but it's not supposed to be the end all be all. But these people still kill for it. It don't matter who it is. It could be your mama. It could be your grandma. They don't care. Like the amount of people taking out their families right now, are y'all seeing that? The amount of people who are just taking out their whole family. You know, I see the dads doing it. I see like it'll be a son doing it. He'll just take them all, like just lying in wait and just take out the whole family. Daughters are killing their mamas. I mean, I know it's already written that this is going to happen, but it's just crazy to see it playing out like this. I just, and I get it. Not everybody likes their parents. I get it. I whatever. But to get to the point where you're just offing everybody is just crazy. Well, humans are also stupid because they agreed paper with dead presidents' faces on it has value, and we have to pay for free stuff like water. Right, right. And I'm glad that you brought that because that's a good segue. Are y'all paying attention to the WEF, the World Economic Forum? These people are crazy. And they talk freely about their plans for us. If y'all didn't see it, created a short. Lindsay Hooper, she decides that she wants to put nature on a balance sheet, her words. So she says that we think that all of these resources like water, air, soil are unlimited, she says. And we're not accounting for how much it costs, I guess. And so she wants to start charging us for it. And if y'all have seen the movie Lorax, I've seen it a few times because it's a good movie, but apparently based off the Dr. Seuss book of the same name. But in the movie, I hope I'm not telling y'all too much because I hate when people tell me the end of movies, but this is not the end of the movie. But they were buying bottled air in this movie. Could you imagine if we had to pay for air? And like you said, we're already paying for water. We're already paying for water. And then for them to try to make us pay for soil, for what? God says that we are never going to be able to search out the earth. Like there's enough dirt, y'all. There's enough dirt for us to do what it is that we need to do. I don't know what we will need to do with all this dirt, but there's no reason for this. Oh, they've said that too. Matter of fact, they have celebrities talking about this. You said you'll be eating bugs and own nothing but love it. No, for real. They really have proposed us eating bugs. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the celebrities that they have as a forerunner for this mess is Gwyneth Paltrow. See, I'm one of those people. I'm so I can't do it. I don't ever want to have to be out in nature and have to fend for myself because it might not work out well for me. Because I don't want to touch any bugs. I for sure don't want to eat no bugs. Shoot, if I had to chop up an animal, I'm telling y'all, I'm out of there. I didn't even help my classmates dissect things when we were in school. I sat back and watched my group dissect whatever it is that we had to dissect. The 3 times that I've had to do it, I just watched because I'm too squeamish for that. Let alone like we're in the freaking Lion King. Remember the Lion King and they were finding those grubs underneath the rocks and stuff? Heck no. I'm not doing that. But yeah, her I'm trying to keep it clean, y'all, but she definitely propose that we need to be eating bugs. This is ridiculous. And my thing is, what are they eating? You want us to eat bugs? What are y'all eating? What are y'all going to be eating? You're putting all these toxins in the food and stuff like that. You know, I already know the answer to that, because when they show all the pictures of the dumbs deep down underneath the earth, they already stocked up. They got piles and piles of food already stocked up. So they probably, put their food down there and got us eating toxins and poison and stuff up here. I can't wait till I can't wait till the Lord rains down on them. I cannot wait. And I know, right? Just imagine being charged for breathing air. I know they're going to find a way to do it. That's what's crazy about it. They're going to find a way. Like, we're going to have to pay by the hour or something. Something. He said exactly. Something. Bill Gates and his mosquitoes are sus. Bill Gates he's been alive way too long. All the things that we know that this man, and I'm not advocating. I'm just saying. I'm just saying he's had a long life. And it's time for him to go. He's got all this demonic things that he's got in plan for us. I'm just sick and tired of hearing him and his plans for us. He's always got a plague for us to go into, or, something for us to shoot in our veins, or he's poisoning us with, poison potatoes, or just whatever it is. And they refuse to allow us to have our own immune system, right? We're not allowed to live how we were naturally created, for our body for itself to fight off, pathogens and stuff like that. They don't want that. They want us to inject toxins into our body. Oh gosh, I'm so frustrated with these people. I'm just so frustrated with him. He's lived way too long. And the thing about it is, what's crazy is, even if it is true, because remember the rumor back in 2019 or however long it was, I believe it was around that time, was that he had gone overseas into one of these African countries and had pushed the vaccine and all that kind of stuff over there. And, people were dying, and they end up taking him and his wife out because of it. That was the rumor back a few years ago. But the thing about it is, they could just freaking clone another Bill Gates. Like, he could have been dead years ago, but they could just clone him and put a freaking Neuralink chip in him and get all his memories together and give us the same plans that the dead Bill Gates would have gave us. Like, that's how demonic this whole thing is. We're not going to be able to escape him. I'm so sick of him. You said they're eating steak and brisket. I know. From non-infected animals, right? Then I showed y'all the little Asian dude, and I don't mean nothing by that, y'all. I'm just talking. I'm just telling you what it looked like. The little Asian dude talking about how we're eating too much steak. We're eating too much steak. He loves steak, but we are eating too much steak. So they want to introduce a tick to us, which causes a meat allergy. Yes, y'all. It's called the Lone Star tick. They want to introduce that to us, I guess, so it can bite us. and voila, we're allergic to steak. Could you imagine? So you poison the fruits and vegetables. You don't want us eating steak. Again, see, we're left with bugs again. We're left with the doggone bugs again. This is crazy. Yeah, right? You said they'll put a meter on your mouth that measures the air you intake. For real. Don't give them no ideas. Do not give them any ideas. This is crazy. The food you eat is poison. It really is. The stuff that we're supposed to have for our nourishment. You know, it gives us all the nutrients that we need, all the vitamins and all that stuff that we need. They're doing it on purpose. And again, if you didn't get to see my my video on the germ theory and terrain theory, because again, they struck it from YouTube, so it's on the Patreon. But if you can't see that one, right, go on YouTube and search the hold on. It's called the food. Hold on. It's called the I'll find it. It's on YouTube free movies. But it's pretty much just talking about how they're depleting the nutrients in the soil and poisoning that, even the soil. It's called Food Matters, y'all. It's called Food Matters. It's on free YouTube movies. Because when you poison and inject the soil with pesticides and all that kind of stuff, guess what happens when you start growing fruits and vegetables? You know, you're pretty much killing all the nutrients in the soil, so that when the plants grow, they too lack the nutrients that they naturally have. And so we pluck them and then we eat them, and we don't get what we need. But essentially, we're supposed to be able to eat these oranges and these raspberries, and we're supposed to be able to do all of that and get our vitamin C and our niacin and our magnesium and all that good stuff. But this also makes us too weak to fight. Right? It also makes us too weak to even fight back, because you're like, well, damn, I got to eat something. And you got all these people where everybody's getting cancer and all that kind of stuff. Poor guy from Dawson's Creek. I never watched Dawson's Creek. It wasn't my show, but honestly, when I saw him maybe about a week or two ago, it wasn't that long ago, when I first saw that he was diagnosed and I saw what he looked like, I was like, dang, I hope that he beats this. I hope that I guess I was thinking, I hope he gets the food he needs. I hope he gets the nutrients he needs to at least have a little bit longer to go. And boom, like I said, a week, 2 weeks, he was gone. But this is all part of the plan, because even though the Georgia Guidestones got brought down, the plan is still in place. They already know what the agenda is. They don't need the Guidestones to follow it, right? They've got plenty of books. They got it in their mind. They're passing it down from generation to generation. They know what they're doing. It's crazy. Y'all remember when they would push them bug candy souvenirs onto us? I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because what in the heck is going on, right? They've been making us eat bugs for years. No, for real, they have. They have. But no, I don't remember any bug souvenirs though. I have noticed that they are coming up with literally recalling candy almost every day. They've got so many toxins in the candy, the Skittles and the paydays and all kinds of. I think it was the M&Ms. I think they had to recall last week or so. Um, they were finding, what were they finding in it? Arsenic. They had found arsenic in some of these candies. Now, arsenic, we are able to consume them in very, very, very small amounts. I believe that apple seeds, I want to say, have arsenic in them. And I think you're allowed to consume apple seeds. I think they're even good for us at a point, but don't quote me on that. Don't go and just start popping, apple seeds like pills. I think it's okay for us in very, very minuscule doses. But the amount that they had in these candies, hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Arsenic. They had a whole list. Arsenic in candy. Oh, okay. So it was Nerds. First of all, 28 out of 46 popular candy brands. Okay. So this is including Nerds, Twizzlers, Jolly Ranchers, and Skittles. Like, they know that they know what candies people love, love, love. Kit Kats, Snickers, Swedish Fish, Sour Patch Kids, Tootsie Rolls. Oh man. Oh man. This is ridiculous. Three Musketeers, goodness gracious, Dots. So yeah, this is what this is what they're doing. Can we consume arsenic? Okay, you can't safely consume it in high amounts, but it's not telling you, in low amounts. But anyway. However, the amount that's in these candies was dangerous. So that's all we need to know. You said plus the fruits have so many bugs in the bread too. Yeah. Um, I mean, a lot of people will just make, I don't know if it's easy. Y'all let me know because I'll have to find out how to do it. But they said that bread is easy to make. A lot of people have started making their own bread. But the problem is we can't make our own fruit unless, you start planting it yourself. I know me and some people on my team were talking about lemon trees and stuff like that you can easily plant and you don't need too much space to do it. But it's sad because, again, these fruits and vegetables have all the nutrients that we need in it. He said, I ate McDonald's this morning and felt extremely nauseous. The food is all tainted for real. Listen, last time I tried, I already know what that guy came out and said about McDonald's, about how it's human meat and stuff like that. Sometimes, I don't know, you don't want to believe it. Last time I had a Big Mac, as soon as I finished that last bite, I vomited it up. It didn't stay down at all, at all. And I haven't touched it since. And I used to be really, really big on the fries. I would go and get, the little dollar fry, give me a little dollar tea. They have the app. You can go, get a little snack while I was in the field. But after I learned that the potatoes that they use for the McDonald's fries, they are so toxic that the farmers can't even touch them for 2 weeks after they harvest them. So, and again, guess who's buying up all the potato fields that McDonald's uses? Bill Gates. So Bugs it is. No, I'm just playing. Same thing with milk. Anyone else notice it became dirt cheap out of nowhere? I stopped drinking milk too. I used to be a real, I used to love some milk, especially, a little strawberry in it. Little Hershey's, strawberry. I used to love cereal, putting the milk in it. No, I can't do none of that. Um, and you know what also I noticed, and it could just be where I'm at, but like the milk wasn't even going bad when it was supposed to go bad. And that's really what kind of started creeping me out. I was like, what in the world is going on? It was watery. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Something wrong with the milk too. Something's wrong with the milk too. I don't know. I don't know if it is, but it just felt like it to me. Growing up, when I would go on vacation to local restaurants, they would always try to push the flavored crickets. Ew, and sugar coated ones. Ew. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Ain't nobody eating them nasty Twizzlers. I know I hate Twizzlers. I've never ever liked them. It could be a hurricane and the world is on fire and I wouldn't eat it. Yeah, they've always been nasty to me. The only time that I even ate like Twizzler like candies were when Starburst came out with their Twizzlers. Oh, those were so good. Me and my brother were talking about that the other day. Like them strawberry flavored ones. Woo-wee. Um, but yeah, they're nasty. They're nasty. But now we know why. I mean, and heck, so it used to be that you had to worry about candy during Halloween time because people were putting razors and stuff like that in. And I saw this year they were putting pins in it. Kids were sticking their mouth. That's just some evil, evil stuff. But anyways, putting stick pins in them. But now you got to worry about them every day because they're trying to poison us. They have bread makers for $45 to $60. I got mine's at a liquidation sale. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Because sometimes the bread is a little sketchy too. Like sometimes it doesn't want to mold and stuff either, but it might be depending on the brand. The bread makes itself for you, just add the ingredients. Oh, okay. I'll definitely have to check that out. So yeah. It's getting scary out there. Oh, I gotta post this. Speaking of, I gotta post this short. I don't know if I want to add some to it because so apparently Cardi B is pushing this transhumanism type of deal at her concerts. Somebody has a video of the big screen and she's turning into this robot and all this other stuff. And somebody was talking about hold on, let me see if I can blah blah blah. They said to look up Project Satan and Project Christ. So Project Satan stands for Silent Assassination Through Adaptive Networks, and Christ is Common Human Routines Interference Software Technology. Okay, so let me see if we can pull this up because I mean, people have already shown her kind of glitching sometimes. I think the only things that they have right now are on video, so nothing I can read. Okay, so I might have to just, watch this stuff, summarize it, and come back with a quick video on it. Let me see what Project Christ, if they bring anything up. Mm. Okay, yeah, it was nothing that I could readily read. So again, I'm gonna have to just watch this stuff and summarize it for you and find out what we can find out about it. But yeah, apparently it says somebody was like with the occult and symbolic language, giving the project names and acronyms that mirror religious and mythic motifs. Apparently these systems are supposed to be working together, portrayed as complementary tools for psychological manipulation and social engineering, and it describes methods meant to look surgical and systematic rather than random or accidental. Somebody was like, she's trying to be like Beyonce. Because and somebody was like, because they're all on the same agenda. That's why. That is why. Um, but yeah, I've seen her glitch a few times. I've seen some really weird. Oh, so the beginning of that, it says Project Soul Catcher. It's a new Tavistock Institute program. The book was written by Robert Duncan and published through the Mind Hacking Strategy Group. Lays out a sprawling claim. An AI-driven system exists that maps individual brain prints and then uses behavioral data plus technological channels like microwaves and voice to skull techniques to damage minds and steer populations. So apparently that's the kind of technology she was promoting at her show. And so pretty much if y'all hadn't heard, that voice to skull technology is there pretty much it imprints thoughts into your mind. So they're able to make you think what it is, whatever it is that they want you to think, which is going to be a big problem. I don't know if it's something that, well, hopefully, right? Hopefully it'll be something that we're able to overcome. I just don't know how the technology works. Because you hear a lot of people claim that they hear things, they hear thoughts in their head and stuff like that. I don't know, right? The Lord wouldn't. Ah, sorry, y'all. I'm just thinking, like, how would we be able to get out of that? How would we be able to overcome that type of technology? Like, how does it work? And are we able to override the thoughts that are put into our head? That's crazy. Cardi B and Transfondigans are both weirdos. I mean, definitely yes. Definitely yes. I don't know if he has a part to play in the agenda. I don't really see too much. I mean, besides him popping out babies him and his ladies popping out babies every week. I mean, other than that, I don't really know too much about him. My dad says he's a good football player. That's all I know. That's all I know. But Cardi B, mm, she's another one that kind of reminds me of Tina Knowles, where she seems like she's not about what the agenda is about, but maybe there's no way that she could have bypassed it with all her fame. Um, coming from Love and Hip Hop, and I don't know. They said that on the jumbotron, it introduced a piece of the rapper. It showcased visual representation of the celebrities having a chip and nanotechnology inside of their brains. See, a lot of these people are, speaking of Cardi B, a lot of people are kind of looking at Nicki Minaj the same way. They're like, she she's trying to expose the occult while still in the occult. So I don't know. I don't know. You said, I have a friend that said after she left a Beyonce concert, Renaissance concert, that she started having thoughts being imprinted into her mind. Oh my goodness. Like she says, she has thoughts that aren't hers sometimes, and she knows it's not from her. Did she say what those thoughts were? I wouldn't be surprised. Um, I wouldn't be surprised. I think that they try out these technologies on the celebrities, first and foremost. If they don't start it off in a little town, and then spread it to the rest of the nation, then they start with these celebrities and they push it through them. Like that's some scary stuff. Ooh, that's nastiness. Thoughts about practicing witchcraft and dreams about the ocean and the water. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Gave off Oshun to me when she said that a while back. Oh my goodness. Every single time I think about, this whole water and witchcraft Beyonce, I always think about the LaToya Luckett interview when she was on the R&B Money podcast, and she was talking about Beyonce. She said, she does a lot of things with water. And the way that she looked when she said it, I put a clip of it. If y'all haven't seen that interview, I put a clip of it in my video about the spirit, the underwater kingdom. Y'all know I'll be forgetting the names of my videos, but you'll find it. The Marine Kingdom video. And the way that she looked was like, yeah, she gets down with the get down. But that's scary. Because I hear that especially if you have dreams, I've heard different things. If you have dreams about flying, if you have dreams about water, that kind of stuff, especially the water, like try to wake up as fast as possible. Because it could be marine spirits. And in the Marine Kingdom, you can get married to a spirit water being. You can have babies, to where you have to go visit them in the water. It's some crazy stuff out there. It's crazy. Devoted Christian and went with her sister-in-law to the concert. She couldn't sleep for 2 nights. Oh my goodness, and has dreams about drowning or being a mermaid or being in water quite often. Oh no, she might be she might have to get into some deep prayer and fasting, to be honest. Because it sounds as though she got into a covenant. And unfortunately, she's got to play the game now. Yeah, she might have to go into some deep prayer and fasting. I really believe that these transplanted thoughts are real. I believe they use frequencies. Yeah. I mean, if they say they have this technology, at this point, I'm inclined to believe them. I'm inclined to believe them because they have so much that we don't know about, and dreams about the demon Leviathan, which we know what that is, had to help her out. It eventually stopped with that demon bothering her. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think she's gonna have to pray up out of that. Because it sounds like she made a covenant. And maybe unwillingly, not going to say unwillingly, but just by going to that concert again, just like I talked about earlier with the serpent and the hiss is a charm, an enchantment, which is also a type of witchcraft. It can be done by musical charms. So I remember watching a lady, she was saying that she had a dream about Beyonce, and as Beyonce would sing these golden notes or like golden words would come out of her mouth almost in a spiral and go out into the audience. Though that's a sign of a spell being cast. And so although she's not like chanting, well, no, she might have been chanting words. I don't know if she was singing along to these songs, but anyway, long story short, it sounds like she's been enchanted. And now she's bound in this covenant, whatever magical charms Beyonce had, whatever she was singing about. Remember when, y'all know I go from tangent to tangent. Remember when Single Ladies came out and everybody started making fun? They were like, she over here singing to y'all, single ladies. And then she goes home to her husband. And they were pretty much insinuating that was a spell being cast on people. Like this is not a game, and you're dealing with a high level witch. When they start talking about levitating and doing all this bull crap that Beyonce sings about, talks about, makes videos about, this is high level sorcery. So yeah, it sounds like she done came into a covenant, girl. I hope she gets out of it. And most concerts are rituals anyway. It's very demonic. Yeah. There was one video that I needed to watch. I don't remember who put it out now. But yeah, it was pretty much talking about, I mean, that's something I already know, but I really want somebody from the industry to speak on it. But yeah. And I don't know if they've always been rituals in this way. But they are now. I can say that for sure. Even people that love Taylor Swift admit that Taylor Swift is doing witchcraft on stage. Like they know this about her, but they're so enthralled with her that they just can't stop loving her. You know, and we know a lot of the rock and roll has a lot of it in it. And now obviously we know the rappers are into it too. One guy was talking about how there's a rapper that has sigils all over his back. I really, really wish he would have dropped the name. I really do. But he said that this guy has sigils all over his back. I believe Beyonce is a siren in the marine realm. Have you heard her Drunken Love Dubai riff? Siren sounds like that. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it took so the very first time I didn't even get a chance to hear it because as soon as the song came on, I was at my friend's house. And as soon as the song came on, the video came on, I heard it and immediately just terror. I just felt this dread. And thankfully, my friend loves me. She knows me. And she turned it off and we put on a comedy series and we laughed. But I would not listen to that song. I could not listen to that song. It was only until I was at karaoke one night and this lady sung it that I got to hear the entire song. And even then I was like, I'll shut my ears if Beyonce comes on. I'll just, plug them up and stuff like that. Cause I don't want to hear her songs. I don't want to have them in my head and all that kind of stuff. But I would agree. I would agree. And even though she's not physically in the water, I don't know if she is or not, but when we see her, she's not physically in the water. Again, her songs, people being drawn to her, they're gonna go down exactly, where she's gonna go if she don't repent. And how many devil horns did she throw up in that video? So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I would be weary of even going to concerts after the Travis Scott concert, to be honest. It would have to be, yeah. I think it would only have to be certain artists. But yeah, I would definitely be very weary. Have you seen her Haunted music video, Demon in Plain Sight? I watched it for the first time when I did Beyonce the Baphomet Queen. I was very shocked by that video. Are you saying that she was a demon, or are you saying that there was a demon somewhere in the video? Yeah, I was very, if y'all haven't seen it, go, it might even be blocked a little bit in a lot of places, so I apologize for that. Because they definitely flagged that video. But Beyonce the Baphomet Queen, I do highlight that haunted video, and she has a lot of, I guess you can say she showcases a lot of sins in that video. A lot of she even shows Jannyism, the Gemini twins that are looking at each other. She showcases a lot in that video, besides showing her rump. I was very surprised that she showed her rump like that in the video. So yeah, and then her just being that ghostly white. She had the black and white. Yeah, there was a lot of symbolism in that video. But yeah, I only watched it so I could do that video, to make that video about her. Craziness. Demon in the video, and she's a demon. I'll have to watch it. And it's crazy because the whole time I did that video on her, I muted the song, so I don't even know what that song sounds like. The scene where they're having the sacrifice orgy. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah. All this symbolism, man. All this symbolism. And I know that we had talked about it a few weeks ago about even delving back into the symbolism that was in the Justin Bieber video, but they struck that live that we did. So I'm not even going to be able to do a deep dive into those symbols that were in his video. But what do y'all think about, I know this is off Beyonce, but what do y'all think about Justin Bieber and him doing his performance and his draws this last time? He's a talented guy, but for someone who has been abused and used and supposedly touched on and all that kind of stuff in the industry that he's in, I guess I'm wondering why you would want to put yourself out there like meat for them to gawk at and ogle, and why would man? I think if that happened to me, I would be wearing turtlenecks and coats and all kinds of stuff so you couldn't see me. But he's out there bare chested in his boxers with his guitar. Um, man, I don't know why he did that. You said, I've been a believer for years and even went to his concerts many times. This vibe is off at times. It is. And again, he's very talented. I think he's a good singer. I quite like the mellowness of his music. I've never listened to a CD or anything like that, but just what they play on the TV. Um, I mean, he's been off for a very long time. And even right now, like literally what comes to mind is I was talking to y'all earlier about that Lone Star tick. Um, and I did the Patreon video, kind of just giving a delve into kind of the symptoms and things like that and some of the diseases that these ticks can do. But did you know that Lyme disease is also a tick derived disease? And guess who has Lyme disease? Justin Bieber. And so this just goes like right along in the lines of what I was saying earlier, how they test out this stuff, they do these things to these celebrities first, and then they throw it on the masses. And I don't know, right? He could have been in the woods somewhere and gotten bit. But then I looked up all of the celebrities that have Lyme disease, and there's over 20 something celebrities that do. And the crazy thing is that this is not like a common type of disease. Hold on. How common is Lyme disease? No, they ain't gonna play it and they ain't gonna show me, huh? I'm like, they want to show everything else, but they don't want to tell me how many people have Lyme disease. But anyways, they call it the invisible illness. But yeah, there's a lot of celebrities with it. And I don't know, for me that was just baffling. Like, I don't know, do y'all come in contact with ticks like that? And I know again it's a lot of wooded areas and different things like that, but I don't know. And again, not all ticks cause Lyme disease. I think it's a particular type of tick. So what are these celebrities doing? And again, I'm not shaming anybody that has it. I'm just saying so you'll have to see the list of celebrities that have it. For it to be this long line of people, what were y'all doing? Where were y'all at? Oh no. You said he's definitely doing drugs again. I, you know, I think I'd be on drugs too. I think I'd be on drugs too. But that's sad because I guess I don't want to see anybody go down, the whole like we see a lot of celebrities, but maybe it's because they're in the spotlight and you see them at one point being healthy and thriving and then you just watch their decline in real time. I think maybe that's what it is. But it's really sad actually to see that. Um Kevin Jonas's wife, I'm just reading off some people that have Lyme disease. Bella Hadad, Justin Timberlake, Alexis Onanen, that's what's the chick's name? Serena Williams' husband. He's the co-founder of Reddit. I don't know who Leah McSweeney is. I don't know who that is. I don't know who Fletcher is. Yolanda Haddad. I guess that, I don't know who that is. Riley Keough. Ryan Sutter. Some of these people are, I guess they're celebrities, but I don't know who they are. Debbie Gibson. She's a singer. Amy Schumer. Avril Lavigne. Shania Twain. Ben Stiller. Alec Baldwin. Like, these are household names. Kelly Osbourne. Allie Hilfiger. So these are just some of the people. I don't know. I don't know if it's fishy or if I could be just reaching, but I could just be reaching. It's just a little weird to me. I have a few of his CDs, and on the Purpose one where he talks about God and Jesus' grace, there's an upside down cross. Oh man, Justin, one of them. Well, listen, if that's what he's about, then I don't feel sorry for him, but and it's almost like, I don't know. It's almost as though he wants to turn, in my opinion, just looking at the things that have happened over the years, like he wants to turn to God, but he definitely has people in his life that are not going to allow him, or they'll put fake people. You remember when he hooked up with that pastor? He had found that pastor, and the pastor, they were swimming all together and doing all this nonsense, and it was just a weird relationship. So yeah, I think I would agree. I believe his agency does him dirty. They're definitely doing dirty work. Yeah. He said, I've been bitten by ticks a lot due to growing up in the country and never got sick from ticks. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Again, there's no shame, but I'm just like, why are all these celebrities just, I don't know. And it's kind of like, I guess the people I was naming, I'm not necessarily surprised that those were the names that were named. Like, I wasn't surprised about Justin. I was surprised about Amy Schumer, You said Billadad Mama Yolanda pimped her out. Ugh. It's crazy because a lot of people think it's like the guy, and I'm not saying it's not, right? Because there's a lot of people on both sides, but a lot of people think it's these daddies that do a lot of this stuff, but it's the mamas that be doing a lot of stuff. I know a girl in my real life whose mama pimped her out and was taking her to grown men to get slept with and stuff like that. So I don't know what's wrong with these women. I don't know what's wrong with these women. And see, I don't even know that lady. I don't even know who she is. Like, are they actresses? Are they who? What do they do? I don't know. It's like hard because I feel he craves Jesus, but there's so many bad people around him, and I could go on a rant about Haley and her family cult they run. Yeah. Because isn't she a Baldwin? Yeah, I think she's a Baldwin. Um, oh, she was on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Okay, I never watched that, so I don't know. I guess supermodels and nepo babies. Okay, yeah, guess so. I guess so. And you said, and yes, the Baldwins own that cult church. Oh my goodness. So sad, so sad. Speaking of supermodels, people are just now finding out Naomi Campbell's down with the get down. Like, Naomi Campbell is named every single time. Her house is in the shape of the Eye of Horus. Why are y'all surprised about Naomi Campbell? She's at every one. Every time I heard about a Hollywood party and there being, some how do I want to say this? Some sexual encounters going on, Naomi's name is always named. She's always there. Yeah, she's definitely weird. And people just thought that she was a mean girl, right? But she's way beyond mean girl. She, I heard from what I hear, she's procuring these girls. She's in every picture with them. She I don't know why people are surprised about Naomi Campbell. I think I've heard her in the circle about children. I've always heard about Naomi Campbell. That's all I'll say about that. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't even looked at the stuff because I'm not going to be surprised, about anything. They already came out with the list a long time ago. We already know the people that are on it. We already know what they've been up to. It's just for the rest of the world to wake up. It's just for the rest of the world. I guess, y'all. Anything else? Because I've been running my mouth for a couple hours now. I think they're putting. I'll say this. This might be the last thing, but Chrissy Teigen. I think they're putting her back in the spotlight again. And I hope she goes down. I hope she goes down. Because she's been walking around untouched for way too long. Especially when, even though she deleted her tweets and stuff like that, there way too many of us screenshotted her tweets. Way too many of us know exactly what she erased. And I actually ran across one that I hadn't seen before the other day, and I was disgusted. I was so disgusted. Let me see if I could try to find that. It was so disgusting. She's a nasty bird. She is a nasty bird, and I hope this time flies. I'm just sitting here cuddled up. Okay. Nice. Well, y'all, I mean, that's really all I got for tonight. Again, I have lots of videos coming. I'm so excited. Right now, I'm currently reading because, like I said, I really like to get hands-on, real. I don't like to just get other people's summaries and stuff, but I'm really excited. Obviously, I told y'all about African spirituality, but I'm also excited about Peter Pan and the Pied Piper. I got that coming. I'm literally reading Peter Pan right now. Because again, I was young when the movie, well, obviously I wasn't, watched the movie when I was younger, didn't really care for it at all. And then somebody in the comment section made a comment about Peter Pan. And I said, wait, what? So I've taken it upon myself to read it. So I'm almost done with that. So that video obviously is coming soon. Basquiat, the Demonic Painter, is coming soon. The 25-hour day is coming soon. I just got to work out some calculations. I got to make sure it makes sense to me before I put it out to you guys. I'm actually excited about that. That's going to be a science one for those who like science. Job. That's going to be more obviously part of the religion category, but also a little bit of philosophy, because I know that a lot of argument that God gets is that how can he exist if there's evil in the world? So we're going to dive into a lot of those questions in there. And then, Job is one of those books. I might have to do it as a series. So the first one is going to be with the problem of evil, but Job has so much science in it. I don't know if y'all have read it. It's so much science in it. So I might break out parts of that and give you some extra science videos. I haven't found a really good history topic lately. So if you guys have one that you want me to delve into, I know that we haven't done history in a while. I really want to put something like that on the list, but nothing has really intrigued me at the moment. But if you have any ideas, you always know that you can drop them, and I'll be sure to get that out and up. The only ones that I didn't include on the list were some of the Truth Before Dying videos. I do have ideas for a few of those, so I'll kind of integrate those in as well. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. I'll continue to drop my little mini dives on Patreon, kind of giving you some more info into, things that we're already discussing, just give you a little bit more insight. So I'll continue to keep doing that. So I just want to say thank you guys for all your support. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting. Thank you guys for showing up. And it really does mean a lot to me. Like I told somebody the other day, if I could blush, I would. I would blush, but it doesn't show up on me. So yeah. So I thank you guys so much. I will talk to you all soon. And again, if you have any topics that you want to discuss, just let me know. Alrighty. I will see y'all soon. Thank you.